Hi, this is Jeannie with Creative Ectothermic Solutions, www.CEctoS.com, and we are going to set up a Madagascar hissing roach colony. We currently have these roaches right here, which are ready to go into their homes, and we have a few things to do. We have a nice big bin for them. You can see that it's empty, but it's got air places on both sides and air vents on the top, so that it's got a nice steady flow that makes the air flow. If you only have them on the top, it doesn't flow as well as unless it's got some on the sides too. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to put wood pellets in the bottom. These are not pine pellets. These are actually barbecue pellets. I bought them in the barbecue section of the store. You can buy them in the grocery store. You can buy them at Walmart. I'm sure you can buy them at Costco. But they are meant to go in your smoker, and they're supposed to smoke your meat or whatever you put on in your smoker hopper thing. But we use them to bed roaches on. It keeps the roach colony nice and dry. If the roach colony gets too wet, they crash. And they get these little lesser mealworms and buffalo beetles. The other thing buffalo beetles are called are lesser hive beetles, and they will devastate honeybee colonies as well. So we just try and keep these wood pellets in the bottom. They're hardwood pellets, either that or fruitwood pellets. I think this one's like hickory and apple or hickory and peach or something like that. But it doesn't matter, because if the roaches are hungry, they can also eat that because they're detritivores. Do not use pine pellets. You will kill your roaches. Now, one of the things that is very necessary for your roach colony is egg crate. Egg crate, once again, it's a nice dry thing, and they like to climb on it. So, and all of this is extra. So you only have this much space in the bottom, but every single egg crate gives you this much more space. So this 2 sets of egg crates more than doubles the space for your colony to exist on. These egg crates are too tall. They need to be cut off. They need to have about 2 of them cut off, so we're going to do that. The best way to cut egg crates is with an electric knife. Electric knives are fantastic. She's going to cut them off from here. It's a little thick, so it's a little see how beautifully it just cuts right through them? It doesn't tear the sides up. It doesn't make a mess. It doesn't throw egg crate all over your world. All it does is make a nice clean cut. Look how beautiful that cut is. Okay. So when you colony, you want to shift every other one. You want to put one in with that out, with the bottom out, and then you want to put one in with the inside out. If you were going to put eggs in it, this is where the eggs would go. So they go together, which gives your colony all of this extra space to exist on.
And it doesn't collapse on them.
And you want to give them as much space as possible, and this gives them space without them getting squashed in between. So you see how beautifully this all comes out.
More.
Yeah, probably
like 2 more.
2 more. And the Vaseline.
Oh, I know. But the water needs to go in.
Okay, we are cutting up a few more egg crates. Once again, look how beautifully this works. I'm going to hold this side. It just makes it easier.
I've never cut anything straight in my life.
Clean cuts. And you have just taken a basic bottom space, and you've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now your roaches have about 6 times as much space as they did when they started. This is their waterer. You can see there's a sponge in the bottom, which has water in it. And then we have various and sundry food sources. So we're now going to feed the roaches. We're going to feed them organic chick food. Chick food is very high in calcium, and it's fortified with vitamins, which is everything that your lizards or whatever need. It's also good for your roaches. And so your roaches stay nice and healthy. So we're going to give them some organic chick feed. We're going to give them some Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, because Honey Nut Cheerios are the best. Just ask any of the roaches and they'll tell you. And they're going to have some dog food after they
love Cheerios.
They love Cheerios. This dog food is Nutro lamb dog food, I believe. They like it. Who knew roaches ate lambs? But you know, you have to deal with these things. The other thing they absolutely love is coconut flakes. Roaches are detritivores. That means they eat detritus, which literally means anything. I mean, if it's dead, a roach will probably eat it. Some roaches are way more into meat. Some roaches are way more into, you know, wood chips and stuff like that. These guys seem to be a little bit in between. The other thing they absolutely adore is roach jellies. Now, we don't go to the pet store and buy jellies. We go to the ethnic food market and buy roach jellies and buy jellies that you can eat for yourself if you really want to. But the roaches love them. They're sweet. They've got little chunks in them. They run off with the chunks. It's really kind of fun to watch. And we just drop the jelly wherever it'll fit. And now this box is basically set up for a colony.
Good.
So we're going to, one more thing. Oh, I forgot the Vaseline. Can't forget the Vaseline. The Vaseline goes around the top and it keeps the roaches from crawling out. Even with these lovely latches and these expensive boxes that have seals in the top, they're supposed to be weatherproof and everything. I tell you, they aren't roach proof unless you add some Vaseline.
Babies, in particular for these.
It's the babies that get out, and you find little roach babies. But the sad thing is they really can't live outside. If they get loose in your house, they just die. They need specific circumstances in order to thrive. There are only 3 roaches that are terrible and live in human habitation. That would be the Turkestan roach or the red runner. They're the same roach. The German cockroach and the American cockroach. The interesting thing about the Turkestan roach, the American cockroach and the German cockroach, is they're all from northern Africa. Not one of them is from where they're supposed to be from, or where they say they're from, where their name says they're from. At this point, I'm sure they're naturalized citizens of all of their various and sundry habitats, so we'll just call them by their common names. Lots and lots of Vaseline, because we just don't want the babies wandering off.
And they like to sit on the vents.
And they like to sit on the vents. They really do. And when you open up the thing, open up the bin, and there's roaches sitting on the roof, and they fall off and run away. Not that hissers run very fast. You have to understand they run very slowly. And I have had hisser escapes where I found them the next day, where they were like sitting on the floor looking at me saying, "Would you put me back in the box, please? I'm hungry." So they're not real keen on escaping because they don't survive well in human habitations. And this, despite being a shop full of invertebrates, is a human habitation and is really not suitable for the roaches to live in.
Okay, that should be enough.
So we are now going to add the roaches. The roaches should really enjoy this. This is a colony of mostly adults. That's the reason why we cleaned everything out. You can hear them hissing magnificently. This is the reason why we cleaned everything out, because a colony full of adults is not normal. Most colonies are full of juveniles and babies, and it's just, full of life. And this colony was only full of adults, so when we looked in the bottom of it, we found a whole bunch of the lesser mealworms and the buffalo beetles, also known as hive beetles. Bad for roach colonies and honeybees. So
some people use them to keep their colonies clean, but you got to pay really close attention.
Yes, some people do use them. People sell. I actually bought them on purpose and put them in my colonies before I discovered what a terrible thing they were, because they if your roach colony has a die-off, which happens, your roaches only live for about 2 years. So say the majority of your colony, not the majority, say I don't know, say 10% of your colony is 2 years old, and they just kick it because they have come to the end of their life. And the next thing you know, you have 1,000,000 buffalo beetles. The entire bottom of it is wet because they cause wetness, and your entire colony crashes because it's wet and it smells very much like ammonia, and it's pretty horrible. You can see these roaches are happily chilling out, doing roach things, hissing, having fun. She's just gonna put that whole thing in there because
There's too many.
there's a whole lot chilling out on that piece of egg crate. But that's okay, because there's a space for them right there, and they'll all, oh, look at that one. That one says, oh, yes, there's Cheerios down here. I have to have my Cheerios, or maybe dog food. What do I want? Whatever it is. Cheerios. Yes, Cheerios. Anyway. Yep. See them going at the Cheerios? So,
I just love them so much.
yes. So the rest of the hissers are being added into this colony, and I use these waterers. They're a gravity waterer. I buy sponges off Amazon. These are craft sponges, like 3.5 inches, and I cut them in half and I put them in these waterers because it works. And every single time you give them water, you replace the sponge because they get really nasty. The joy of the sponge is just like the egg crates. You can cut them in half with the electric knife, and it does just a beautiful job with very little effort. If you've ever wondered what to do with an electric knife that seems to be a tradition to give people for your wedding, well, you should use it to cut egg crates and sponges so that you can keep your roach colonies nice and clean, and because I know that's what everybody's worried about. I know I am. But this is the colony, and I have another colony that I will show you that is very full of life. This one looks pretty good. These hissers are doing their job. You know, they're making more roaches. They're eating. They're doing roach things. I sell these creatures to people to put in their compost bins in their house. They want like one adult male. And the roaches break down the compost faster than the compost can break down itself. So you open up the compost bin and you find an adult male sitting on top who hisses at you magnificently as he eats up all of your compost and turns it into frass, turns it into dirt. Frass is the name for bug poop. You see how all of these roaches are all over inside the crates, that we have made all of their ground space so much more so that they can,
Sorry, buddy.
they can exist in a happier place.
Okay.
So let's walk across the shop, and we're going to look in one of the other Madagascar hissing roach bins, and this is what they should look like. As you see, they need to be fed and watered. They need new crate because they've eaten it. But you see the wood pellets on the bottom? This is actually empty and needs to be refilled, and it needs a new sponge.
In the bottom. Oh, not that time. Good.
Well, I also banged it out. Here is a just molted roach. That's why it's so white. Right after they molt, they are white until they harden up. It's like a soft shell crab. See, there's another white roach. And yeah, lots and lots. You see all the babies in here? There were no
this
babies
is what we didn't have.
in that colony.
These guys.
Yeah, but not just that. There weren't even very many of the older ones.
They had a couple of juvies.
And that roach colony should be as full of life as this one.
And you see, there's actually buffalo beetles in here, and it's not so bad. There's a couple.
Yes, and here's some lesser mealworms. Right here. In there. These lesser mealworms, when they pupate, they turn into buffalo beetles. And as long as you keep a handle on it, it should be okay. But if this was having like piles of powder, or it was wet in here, we would have to strip it all out and start all over again. Once again, this is Jeannie with Creative Ectothermic Solutions. I'm here with my beautiful daughter, Elisa, and we have just done a how to set up a roach bin. If you're interested, Thank you for your time. Have a great day.